Setting. One sec. Testing. Tap. Yeah, your light should be green. Good. Okay, let's have a little look. See that it worked. Alright, we're filming.
Okay, so I'll put that there. Right there.
It's perfect. Alright, I'm going to start, yeah? Alright, so I'm here with Jeremy today. I didn't realise at the time that I was going to see Jeremy, but I realised he was going to be around, so I thought I'd grab him while I could and we'd just go over some of the stuff. Obviously, my aim is always just to... I look at 54 as kind of a puzzle and I'm trying to fill in the blanks. In order to get past the fear inside thing, it doesn't make sense doing it without at least talking to Jeremy briefly. First of all, before we start, I jammed with you today for the first time since 1998. Do you realise that? Because obviously, even though I've seen you since Fear Inside, we didn't actually play guitar together. You played a bit and I recorded you and all that, but I never actually picked up a guitar with you at all here. And it was interesting because I showed him a bunch of riffs that I've written over the years and never
I just
done
picked them up straight away, just like that. Done. So it means your writing hasn't, got any more complicated or improved.
No, it's just...
No, all jokes aside, it's going to take a while to learn them, but you still got it. The new riffs are great.
Because I haven't showed anyone any riffs since basically Steve.
The new ones you've written, they progressed from that kind of at the gatesy style that you took on, but they've definitely got your own take on it now, and the harmonised fifths and sevenths you add on, and the odd ninth and things. It's harmonised bits, sounds. Yeah, they've got a classical music quality to them, but with a solid rock metal undertone. I was very impressed with them. I think they're strong.
Thank you.
And pretty hard to play.
But I really appreciated having you there today, and thanks for coming around and doing this. I've been asking you to come and jam with me for a long time. And for some reason, things seem to click into place for that to happen today. And even though we're not doing anything serious, I definitely appreciated that because I've missed jamming with a fellow rock guitarist.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right, so before we actually get stuck in with some of the stuff, I'm going to address something from the previous episode because I want to get ahead of it now. So when I was doing that thing with Laura at the time, I didn't realise when I was asking you about your opinions on Rob, at the time, I didn't realise I was going to be doing these episodes with Laura. So when I was asking you, it was purely for me. But then when I started editing it, and I was about to talk, there's a bit in that episode where I talked to Laura about what you'd said about your thoughts on the playing at the time and things. And I realised when I was editing it that I could actually just use your parts where you say what you say instead of me just reiterating it. But because you're a good guy and you're a nice person and you don't want to upset anyone, you felt slightly concerned about me using them. And I asked you, I said, okay, can I tell you why I want to use them? And if you want me to take them out, I will. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. And so just for the sake of everything, because I doubt that Rob or anyone is going to see these, but for the sake of everything being clear, all I'm trying to do is map out everything that's happened. It's not to insult anyone.
It's the story
and what happened, every single aspect up until the end. But for anyone who comes across this, whether it's a fan or an old member, the aim is not to insult anyone. But me and Laura agreed that we want the good, the bad and the ugly, and we just want to kind of just set the record straight and tell the story as honestly as we can.
So Laura's the good, I'm the bad, you're the...
Well, I guess
so
you're
carry on, yeah.
Well, I'm the pretty. So having said all that, I hope you're okay with me using them, but if you're not, here's the point where I will remove them.
No, I think everything I said was fair, objective, wasn't an insult. It's 25 years ago, nothing was personal. It was all based on a musical level. I'm sure from listening to Rob's later stuff, he progressed to a very, very good drummer.
Right.
At the time, I could definitely see he was going to get there, but I felt it was probably the same as me on guitar. I'm trying to play solos that I just haven't grown into yet, because my enthusiasm's a bit ahead of my ability. Not saying that Rob had bad ability, but I just felt. But that wasn't why I left the band.
Okay.
I left the band because I thought I was going to go away.
Australia at the time. Yeah.
And I didn't. I'd always preferred playing metal bands anyway, and it just seems. Yeah, Australia, and then I didn't go in the end. But I joined a death metal band that I was a big fan of, and yeah, I never meant to cause any friction. I thought Adrian was a good addition, and I remember going to one of your band practices after I'd left. I think I just went in to say hey, and I felt a bit uncomfortable because I could tell you guys were already a level up of probably what I could have played. Adrian 100% is amazing guitarist, and I was very happy with the drummer in the death metal band I was in, and I was like, yeah, I made the right decision. But I didn't leave because of Bob or anything like that. Bob's drums progressed after on the third album to, you know, I'm sure he'd say the same. I'm sure he'd listen to No Visible Scars and might be like, oh, I could have been, you know, I wish I'd had another half a day or a day in the studio to lock that down, or not. But it's not about that. It's I just wanted to try something different that I was at the time invested in more, I think. And I never realised Glenn had a problem with me, if I'm honest. I never, maybe I knew at the time, but I didn't realise he'd offered like an ultimatum. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't even remember Glenn being in the band, if I'm honest.
It wasn't for that long, really, was it?
I remember us recording together, but maybe did a couple of gigs, but I never looked at it as anyone else's band other than me and Lug's band. And I just looked at it as us two. Because I never really played with Laura, and
one gig you two did
and we
together.
never had a permanent drummer throughout that time anyway. We had Richard, and then Dan just did the album, so it was never, and Glenn played bass with us, but but I was young, you know, but Glenn was a bit, you know, he felt older, and I think he was more mentally mature at the time, but it doesn't matter. Just didn't realise there was such a thing. So Glenn, if you're watching, hi. But yeah, I just always looked at it as just, it was our bands, and then I wanted to leave. I didn't leave the country, and then I joined a metal band.
Yeah, I understand. I mean,
and the lineup you had once I left was stronger anyway. It's much better.
Well, Adrian is a phenomenal guitarist.
Yeah.
He was the best guitar in terms of technical. He was the best one we had. He ran circles around me.
Non-alcoholic, by the way. 7 years sober. If anyone gives a fuck.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
No, it is impressive. I haven't been able to do that. Okay, so.
Oh, I think that bus is playing Area 54. I can hear it coming through the.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear that?
What's your favourite song for your Inside?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
When Glenn was saying I got a problem, I could have said what's the problem, but I didn't. And I didn't tell you he said anything.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
And
I never knew he had a problem with it.
Right, exactly, because I wanted to keep the band going, right? And I thought the best way to do it is to shut the fuck up. But I wish I said to him, look man, blah, 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 but I didn't. I was too childish. That's one of the things I'm sorry for. And the other thing I'm sorry for is that you have a knack for pointing out the best drummers in the world. You something about you, that's your special skill, right? You agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when you said what you said about Rob, you didn't say, I don't like his drumming because, and I didn't ask. You just told me you had an issue.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for not discussing it with you.
Oh God, don't be, because it's there's no. I don't even think about that.
Okay, and I'm sure you don't, but it's just
No.
something I wanted to say because I realised I didn't even ask you, and you were half a bat. You were my equal, and I should have asked you. I didn't, and I felt bad for that.
I think a lot of drummers, they can't take their ego out of things, and they won't sort of be told that sometimes less is more. And yeah,
You seemed to hop from band to band. You didn't spend very long. So like, I don't know, how long was Embodiment going for?
a few months.
Just a few months.
Yeah.
Right, so I discovered
6
this
months.
after I did that episode with Laura. I couldn't remember how I met you, but then I found this flyer. I'll include it here to show
I
people.
saw it, yeah.
You can see the specific date. I think it was March the 12th, 1996. My band, I was in a band called Insides as a Chaos. Chaos. The songs were shit, but the drummer and the bassist, I think there was Neil the drummer and the bassist, I can't remember his name now because it was so long ago. They were phenomenally good. I didn't realise at the time how good they were because I hadn't played with enough musicians. But those two were really good. But my older brother was in the band too, and just before I met you, I fired him, or just after I met you, I fired him because we didn't get on, and then I broke the band up, right? And I saw you play with Embodiment. I was supporting you.
Right.
And I remember thinking, fuck, this band's amazing. I was become a big fan, just briefly, because you didn't stay together very long. But somehow, I always thought you looked the coolest of the four on stage. You did, with your massive blonde
Hair's
hair.
gone now. Yeah.
And do you remember how we become mates? Because I don't.
I think we used to bump into each other at the Ruskin Arms when there was a show on, or you'd hang out and come and see us play. I think you actually became friends with Tim first.
Right.
And then we became friends through that, and then we were all just taking the piss all the time out of each other and bands, and yeah, I think you were friends with Tim first, and then we started becoming mates, and then
I become mates with all of you, Richard. Not so much Glenn, but I did like Glenn. But I was glad when I got him in the band in '54. But I become really good friends with Tim. I used to hang out at his all the time. He got me into At the Gates and all of this stuff. And
I thought I got you into At the Gates.
no, he gave me an audio tape. Well, actually, he didn't. I insisted on taking it.
Right.
It was a terminal spirit disease. Changed everything for a while.
Good album.
You got me into like Dissection and all of these bands. Amorphis, Anathema,
Oh yeah.
Paradise Lost to some extent. When Embodiment went wrong, you joined 54, you done that, then you went into Gorerotted straight after, and then Infestation, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And how long were you in those bands for?
Gorerotted was about a year. I used to drum for Gorerotted. It's me, Jason and Tim, and I used to drum for them, and then we got Dan.
Dan Foord.
Yeah, Dan played with us. Then Graham joined. Yeah, and then I was in Gorerotted probably for about a year, and then I really liked this band called Infestation. Things were getting a bit factitious with me and Tim, not in a super bad way, but just some silly internal politics. And then an audition came up for Infestation, and I decided to go for it with them because I love their drummer. And then I got the audition, got in that band, and then the drummer left. So we kept on with the new drummer, who's turned out to be great. But then we kind of split up, and then I went to America and didn't really live in London after that. That was that.
Okay.
And I went to Brighton for 4 years, and then I left the UK permanently in 2006.
During the 54 stuff, do you remember how we wrote the material?
Yeah, you'd usually come up with a riff, and I'd learn it. Sometimes I'd write stuff.
The Face of All Your Fears and Overload, wouldn't you came
I don't
in
want
with
to take any credit. Oh no, it's Fear Inside. I don't take any credit for that song.
It was me that wrote the crazy shit that comes in later.
You were the main guy though in Area 54, and I was definitely the rhythm guitarist.
So like when you came in and said, I've got an idea, I remember you saying, I've got an idea, I'm not sure if it's right for 54. Oh, this idea. You played that bit. I just went, fuck. I wrote some bits around it and worked the song, but it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you bringing in that riff with those vocals, right? And I was totally happy to put death metal vocals in and then sing with it. And no one else was really doing that then when you think about it. Yeah. I don't really remember anyone else doing that.
I think with death metal singing, you can't really copy someone. Maybe if you really practice it, but your death metal voice is kind of your death metal voice. So I just think I had that kind of mid-pitch death metal snarl, whereas some singers I know their natural death metal voice is really low, and some are screamers and shouters.
Yeah.
I just think it chooses you don't choose it.
Okay, so you wasn't trying to be like the Carcass. I always
loved Carcass. Jeff Walker, maybe.
Yeah.
I was always still am, big Carcass fan. Got a Carcass tattoo on me somewhere.
Okay, who would you say were your influences for that riff?
Carcass.
Right. Yeah. For me, it was you know the end riff.
At the Gates.
No, Dissection.
Oh, right, okay.
And the dun dun dun, that was also Dissection.
Right.
This is a song from Storm of the Light, Spain.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't exist if you hadn't given me that CD. You gave me it. I remember going home and playing it and just thinking, holy crap. Overload.
Probably because of
I know one
Anathema.
of them. Anathema. Interesting.
Anathema or Paradise Lost.
I remember you saying to me Paradise Lost.
Probably one of those two. Or My Dying Bride, because I really was into them.
For Overload, this is embarrassing to say a little bit, but you know the verses? Do you know what that is? That's the Where Do We Go Now bit from Sweet Child of Mine, sped up to Megadeth speed and then picked like Holy Was.
Right, okay.
That's all it is. I just took it, sped it up, and thought that'll do. Really, it was that simple back then.
Right.
It got complicated later, but you know, people love that song. It's one of the favourites. It stayed in right to the end.
Right.
We took it out for a while, and fans would always say, "Aren't you going to play it?" We'd go, "All right, we'll put it in for the next one." So it always come back in even when we took it out. Couldn't get away from the bloody thing. Missing Time. Well, that's you. So
Yeah, I thought that was a good song.
it's a good instrumental.
I
Considering you
remember
hate
writing that in
instrumentals.
bed.
You wrote it in bed.
I do remember writing that in bed.
What's the influence?
I think it's just a jammy song. Yeah, and then you put the really nice harmonies below it, and that made it much better.
I think it's the only instrumental we did, as far as I remember. Okay, well we have to discuss it. Fear Inside.
I don't want to talk about that song. It's dog shit.
Okay, next.
Oh, the dun 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 dun.
Futile Dream. Okay.
I kind of always thought that was one of our best songs.
Well, I was the main writer on that one, so it makes sense.
It's a good one, and that sounds very much like Paradise Lost when they kind of changed their style a bit from
Draconian Times onwards.
Yeah, to that one that had 1 second on it. I just thought that was very that, but I thought that was, I think that's a good tune. That is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the influences on that would be definitely Paradise Lost. And You know, like those backing vocals in my head. That's been Megadeth, isn't it? And when I showed you the riff, you said, "Lug, I can hear a synth," and you told me what notes, and then I had to play it when we were recording it, right? And I remember shitting myself, having to. I remember my fingers shaking.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because Howard Fox was there and everything. I was like, "Oh my god, I've got to play keyboard now." I was literally shaking recording that part, and I felt embarrassed because I wasn't a keyboard player. But
in the days before MIDI synths.
And it's one of the coolest parts of any 54 song. We just found a sound and fucking did it.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And also those lead parts, all the little lead parts. Yeah. That's all you. And they make
tune as well.
They make we'll call it punk. Thank you. They make the song, so I'm very appreciative for your input on that track. And also Dan Foord's drumming on it.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Yeah, it's good. Dan's good, solid drummer. Good drummer. It's Dan. And he's gone on to very good things now. So.
Right, so the next thing he did was Sixth, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Tim went on obviously after you, he went on and done Gorerotted, and then The Rotted, and then what's the new band he's in?
Joe Carley and the Old Dry Skulls.
Okay. Richard kind of didn't do anything after all that, did he?
Don't think so.
It's interesting with Richard because he doesn't play on any 54, but he is technically the first drummer, right?
Yeah. But Gorerotted did really well.
Yeah.
They got signed to Metal Blade, which is a big deal. And yeah, I think out of all the bands that we were friends with that were in the London scene, you could argue Gorerotted and Akakoka.
Oh wow, Akakoka, I forgot about them.
Are the only two that you could say kind of made it on big metal labels and played big festivals, big followings in Europe, you know, sell out the underworld and places like that. So respect to them. Yeah, they did well.
So in Gorerotted, my favourite riff was always Limb from Limb or Limb by Limb. Was it?
I wrote that.
Right, I was wondering. That was you. Fantastic. Just well done.
Thank you.
Very good. What do you remember about Howard Fox, the engineer of Fear Inside?
Tolerance. I think he was young too, and I think he was finding his feet as well. But yeah, he was tolerant, and I remember asking lots of stupid questions. Oh, should I tune my guitar for this part?
So why is it still out of tune if you ask that question?
Because I think sometimes the way you play it can make something sound out.
It works. There's nothing wrong with Fear Inside. I think it's a great little EP.
I think Howard was a good dude, and yeah, I'd love to go back in time and just be better.
You're perfect on it. You really. You are able to tap into the softest things. The same guy that sung The Face of All Your Fears can sing in falsetto and do these really beautiful songs. And the funny thing I find about people like you, which I genuinely believe have serious talent, is you haven't released anything. I find it peculiar. You know that I'm a producer. Anything I can do to help, I will. So Howard Fox, he is now Eonlake, and he's stopped doing what he does, and now he's a producer, just like me. We've been chatting a little bit, and him. Then there was Mark Daghorn, just dropped dead. Then after that, there's Dave Chang, who I love, and then there's Paul Smith. I decided I was going to remaster it. I asked you if you would be willing to be involved, and what surprised me about you is how involved you got, because I thought you'd say, yeah, like it sounds fine. But you were actually like, I have a list of things I think you should address. And you really got stuck in, and you made it better for that because you pointed out things I didn't notice.
Look at myself as an all right musician, and I think my opinion counts on certain things. And I think my suggestions would be valid. And I do the same with any of my friends, or whether I was in a band before or not with them, to be like, if anyone asked my advice, I'd give it the respect and time it deserved, you know.
Compared to the original version, how are you happy?
Yeah. Yeah, much happier. It
Much
sounds
happier.
sounds modern. It's nice knowing it's there. I'm looking forward to all the other stuff going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been a nice revisit, and yeah, it's nice to know that you're happy with it.
I am. And we are done. So thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, and thanks for the apologies. And
That's not going to stay.
well, thanks.
You're such a knob. Right. See you later.